This is the one living creature even Elon Musk can't buy. A man who bought Twitter, launched rockets to Mars, and built the world's most valuable car. Company can't touch this organism. It's not protected by lawyers or politics. It's protected by something far older and far more ruthless. Because this isn't just the most expensive creature on Earth. It's also the rarest, most hunted, and most genetically irreplaceable species in history. But to understand why not even Musk can get close, we need to count down the 10 most valuable creatures on the planet, starting with a blue diamond that bleeds. At first glance, it's just a parrot, but the hyacinth macaw is no ordinary bird. It is the largest and most dazzling parrot on Earth, its feathers shimmering like sapphires, its curved beak strong enough to crack coconuts. In the rainforests of Brazil, it's a symbol of wild beauty, but in the hands of billionaires, it's something more, a status symbol perched in climate-controlled glass aviaries. Owning one isn't as simple as writing a check. Each macaw demands a specialized diet of rare nuts, flown in weekly. Its delicate temperament requires caretakers trained in avian psychology, and its lifespan, up to 50 years, means you're not just buying a pet. You're signing up for a lifetime of guardianship. In Dubai, a royal family built an indoor rainforest for their 3 macaws, complete with misting systems, waterfalls, and a live-in avian vet. One mistake, like feeding them the wrong seeds, can end decades of life. These aren't pets, they're feathered investments. But as rare as this bird may be, the next creature on this list has claws, spots, and a price tag that will leave you speechless. It moves with the grace of a leopard and purrs with the arrogance of royalty. The Ashera cat is a genetic marvel, part African serval, part Asian leopard, part domestic feline, a laboratory-designed luxury for the ultra-rich. Each kitten costs $125,000. Buyers sign contracts promising climate-controlled homes, bespoke diets, and round-the-clock care. But beneath the glamour lies controversy. In 2008, a scandal erupted when breeders were accused of passing off savanna cats as ashras. Lawsuits followed. Some owners discovered their 6-figure feline wasn't quite as rare as promised. Today, only a handful of elite breeders exist. Every kitten comes with DNA certification, a microchip, and a non-breeding clause. One Russian oligarch reportedly spent another $50,000 on a diamond-studded collar. These aren't pets you cuddle. They're walking, purring status symbols. Most people bury their dogs. Edgar and Nina Otto, they froze his DNA. Their Labrador, Sir Lancelot, wasn't just a pet. He was the first American dog ever to be resurrected through cloning. In 2009, the couple paid $155,000 to a South Korean biotech lab. No interviews, no press, just a sealed egg implanted into a surrogate. And weeks later, Lancelot Encore was born. Identical genes, same golden coat. But was it really the same dog? To the Ottos, it was. They welcomed him into their Boca Raton estate like royalty. He joined their private zoo of 9 dogs, 10 cats, 6 sheep, and 4 parrots. But this wasn't science fiction. This was the beginning of genetic luxury. They didn't just clone a companion. They pioneered a trend that now quietly serves royal families, tech moguls, and billionaire breeders, all behind NDAs. Cloning isn't sold in pet stores. It's negotiated through biotech intermediaries, and it's not regulated by emotions, just contracts. Because when love and money collide, what's left isn't always life. It's a replica of desire. You've heard of racehorses selling for millions, but what about a cow? In 2009, a Holstein named Missy made history, $1.2 million at auction. No gold horns, no designer branding, just pure bovine perfection. Born on Prince Edward Island, Missy wasn't raised in a pasture. She was engineered in a bloodline lab, sculpted for genetic royalty. She swept every competition: World Dairy Expo, Royal Agricultural Winter Fair, Reserve Champion, Supreme Grand Champion. Judges didn't just admire her, they studied her like a rare gem under glass. Her genetics became currency. Breeders worldwide paid for her embryos, her calves, her DNA. In the dairy elite, Missy wasn't just a cow, she was an industry blueprint. And her lifestyle? Air-conditioned barns, private handlers, a nutrition plan with supplements more expensive than champagne. Some say Missy produced a new kind of luxury, status through biology. Because when your wealth builds cities, you don't collect paintings, you collect life itself. And speaking of wild investments, the next animal on this list, it's part wolf, part bodyguard, and it comes with a warning label. Some pets greet the mailman. This one would rather track him for miles in the snow. Meet the Czechoslovakian wolf dog, part German shepherd, part Carpathian wolf. Originally bred in Cold War Europe for military border patrol, it wasn't designed to sit, it was designed to survive. Only a few hundred exist in the US, and most are owned by former intelligence officers, elite trainers, or billionaires who don't trust bodyguards. They don't bark, they howl, they don't beg, they test your leadership. Because owning a wolf dog isn't a hobby, it's a full-time contract with nature's raw blueprint. Their gaze is calculating, their loyalty fanatical, if earned. They're known to shadow their owners like trained operatives, scanning rooms, flanking strangers, and sometimes ignoring commands just to test who's really in charge. Security experts in Italy and the UK reportedly use them for covert estate patrols. No handlers, no leashes, no theatrics, and their coat, a double-layered, weatherproof cloak. It transitions like seasonal fashion, plush in winter, slick in summer, always camera-ready, always quiet. But here's the unspoken truth. These dogs don't just guard the gate, they remind you what's on the other side of it. And if wolves weren't wild enough, wait until you meet the monkeys that take snow baths and elect their own queen. Some billionaires unwind in Icelandic spas, others build them for their monkeys. In the icy mountains of Japan, there's a species that defies every rule of survival, the Japanese macaque, also known as the snow monkey. With faces flushed red like old royalty and fur thick enough to mock winter, these creatures have mastered both Arctic living and passive luxury. They bathe in natural hot springs, form matriarchal societies, and in 21, one female shattered tradition by becoming the first recorded queen of her troop. That's right, a monkey monarchy. But don't let the warm baths fool you. These animals are clever, cunning, and dangerously adaptive. They've been caught making snowballs for sport, stealing purses from tourists, and teaching each other how to wash food in rivers, a behavior no zookeeper ever introduced. They're also fiercely territorial. Observers say they know how to manipulate group politics. Some scientists even believe they've developed social hierarchies rivaling our own. And yes, owning one is nearly impossible. They're banned in most countries, protected by law, and revered in Japanese culture. But rumors still swirl of underground exotic traders, billionaire collectors who keep them in geothermal compounds, not for display, but for observation. Because when a monkey takes a spa day, you start to wonder who's really evolving. That creates music in the wild, that declares in every beat, I'm rare, I'm loud, and I belong to no one. Unless, of course, you're the billionaire who finally figures out how to buy rebellion in a cage. But while the palm cockatoo owns the spotlight, it's not a monkey, it's a horse. The green monkey was a thoroughbred born into perfection, flawless bloodlines, lightning speed, and a physique sculpted for glory. At auction, it fetched an astronomical $16 million. Why? Because buyers weren't just bidding on a horse, they were betting on the future of racing. But here's the twist. The green monkey never won a single race. Not one. It became infamous as one of the costliest disappointments in sports history. Yet, the price wasn't a total waste. Billionaires still fought over its breeding rights, hoping to create the next generation of champions. Each foal born carried the weight of a legacy and the hope that lightning might strike twice. In the high-stakes world of thoroughbreds, fortunes are made and lost in a single heartbeat. But as high as these stakes are, the next animal isn't about speed or glory. It's about lineage and legacy, passed from one royal hand to another. The Arabian horse isn't just an animal, it's living nobility. With bloodlines traced back thousands of years, these creatures once carried kings into battle, pulled royal caravans across deserts, and inspired poets with their unmatched grace. Today, elite stallions are worth up to $100 million, traded privately among royalty in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. These horses aren't raced, They aren't ridden. They are collected for their genetics alone, a silent investment in prestige and power. In one high-profile case, a Saudi prince insured his prized Arabian for more than his private jet. The horse was flown across continents in a custom-built, climate-controlled crate, guarded as if it were a crown jewel. The white coat isn't just beautiful. It symbolizes purity, wealth, and an unbroken legacy. Creature that comes next exists in a world where ownership is impossible. Here's the twist. The most expensive creature on Earth isn't for sale. The vaquita porpoise is the rarest marine mammal alive. Fewer than 10 remain in a shrinking strip of Mexican Sea. Even Elon Musk, with all his billions, couldn't buy one. The moment you touch it, it dies. There are no breeding programs, no zoos, no cloning options. The vaquita isn't rare because of price. It's rare because ownership would mean extinction. The only way to have a vaquita is to leave it alone. So, which of these creatures left you speechless? Would you spend millions on a tiger or decades protecting a bird that outlives you? Comment below and subscribe, because next time we're exploring the most dangerous pets ever owned by billionaires.